Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Star Wars The Bad Batch, Season 2, Episode 6, Tribe. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, then we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you feel lucky or you feel like gambling, you hit that bell down below, and YouTube may or may not notify you when I come on live. Best thing to do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there, all the links to my pages. Everything is there. Also, there's the schedule of stuff that's coming up for the rest of this year. Well, not everything, but stuff I'm kind of interested in. You might be interested in that too. So, hey, Marks, how's it going? So yeah, sorry I've been so scatterbrained here. Yeah, I've been in the process. Well, I should say I'm in the process right now of getting a condo. So yeah, so that's why I'm saying all this might change back here behind me. It's so yeah, I'm in escrow at the moment, and yeah, all the fun that comes with that as well. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Anyway, with that said, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video you can comment down below in the comment section. Giving you enough time to walk away, all that kind of stuff. All righty. So, thanks, Marks. Yeah, the this episode was kind of interesting. We had a couple interesting things in all this in Tribe. Um, we've actually seen this Jedi before that we were brought up, Gungi. Gungi was actually in the Clone Wars. We saw him as he was a youngling. And it was kind of interesting bringing this, a deep cut, if you will, from the Clone Wars back for this. It's kind of interesting, and seeing him a little more grown up. Obviously, um, one of the things I did really like on this was the Vanguard access. So having the whole, no problem, Pen. The whole Vanguard access is a group of pirates that are droids, which was interesting, and droids that don't think twice about killing organics or trafficking in organics as well. And um, it's kind of a group I want to see more of, to tell you the truth. They were jerks, obviously being droids they were, but also just seeing self-governing droids and being bad guys too at that was kind of interesting. I want to see more of that. So going back to Gungi, so Gungi, of course, is the Wookiee who's a Jedi. Well, he was a youngling, and the Vanguards had him, and they were going to basically sell him to the Empire. And of course, our group ends up they're making a deal with the Vanguard, and of course, Omega stumbles into what they're doing to Gungi. She rescues him, and along with Echo, and everyone has to get out of there. And of course, their deal is scrapped at this point. Um, so Gungi's just trying to make his way home to Kashyyyk, uh, and they decide to take him there because they've been there before. And of course, Gungi is afraid of them, but doesn't harbor any ill will towards them because, of course, they're dressed in stormtrooper gear, and they're having to try and reiterate a couple times, like, "Hey, we didn't participate in Order 66. We aren't built that way. We didn't have the chips in our heads. Everything's good." And yeah, he's still a little bit leery. So we get to see Kashyyyk, right after the Empire has taken over everything, and they're pretty much already starting to strip mine the planet. They are using Wookiees as slave labor, all that kind of stuff, and they're using Trandoshans to do this, is what they're doing. And then also we also have a little indictment of the Jedis as well for taking children before they can even remember their planet. They barely remember the planet that they're born on. In Gungi's point, he doesn't really remember where he's from, so he doesn't know who his people are. And yeah, I mean, I've said this before about the Jedi. It's one of those horrible things about them taking infants that are force sensitive and then training them in the order, and it's just kind of weird. Yeah. Do I think that Omega is force sensitive? No, I don't think so. I mean, it could be a possibility that they might bring up, but if if Boba isn't, um, could the Kaminoans had the Kaminoans, yeah. Could they have tinkered with the DNA to make some midichlorians? Maybe. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. We'll probably find out in later episodes, what's going to happen there. I doubt it. That would be a new wrinkle in things, and we would have seen inklings of that by now. And I don't think they're going to go down that road. It's interesting enough having her as female versus the rest of them all being male, and also her being older than them as well, because she's been allowed to grow chronologically, whereas they are force grown, or a little sped up in their process of growing. Um, you think she might be? Eh, yeah. So, of course, we have the obligatory. I was actually kind of surprised that Disney was showing a lot of Trandoshans just being shot by the Bad Batch, and I mean flat out, like multiple times. There's one, if you watch it, he's standing on the tank and he gets shot like twice in the chest and then once again for good measure. And I was like, "Fuck, all right, Disney." Because normally they don't show that with organic life forms, if you will, in animated shows. It's usually the droids that get fucked up beyond all recognition, but no, they did this with the Trandoshans this time, and yeah, I'm kind of liking it. So at the end of all of this, and this is something that actually is moving the plot along. This episode actually did move the plot of the whole series along in and of the fact that so far we've seen Hunter being the lone holdout right now of hiding. He just wants to hide all the time. He wants to hide, hide, hide from the Empire. And we've been seeing slowly but surely the other members of the crew saying we should do something against the Empire. We should be doing something. Look what's happening. Why are we just sitting around? We should be doing something. And this episode, definitely, we see a lot more of them going, we need to fucking do something. And then Hunter at the very end, when he is looking at Gunji and and Omega, with the tree and all that stuff, and he says, they're no longer children. They can't be children in the way this galaxy is right now, and that's not right. And maybe he's starting to come around to fucking say, we actually need to do something about the Empire at this point. So maybe they're finally going to start coming out of hiding because Hunter is their leader and they are following what Hunter is telling them to do. But at the same time, they all want to get into the fight, except for Wrecker. Wrecker is just good on where he's at this point. Yeah. Um, so yeah, it's a good episode. Hopefully it moves things along. Sometimes what happens with these especially with the Star Wars series is we move one step forward, then the next episode we goes two steps back. It's like they kind of forget the episode, and then um yeah, I kind of want them to move it along a bit, and keep going with the series. We're in episode 6, and I believe we have, what is it, 15 episodes in this, if I'm not mistaken. I think we have 15 episodes in the season. I'm looking right now, as a matter of fact. And we have, yeah, 16 episodes. I was off by one. 16 episodes, what we have this season. So we have 10 more episodes to go. The Mandalorian, of course, is going to be coming in all of this as well. So we're going to be on episode 10 of this series when the first episode of The Mandalorian starts coming out. So this is probably going to get lost in all of that, which hopefully not. I mean, I know they're gonna have mid-season. There's supposed to be 2 back-to-back episodes. So I think that is that episodes 7 and 8? It might be next week's episode. Yeah, okay. Next week's episode is a double header. So we have episode 7 and 8 is a double header next week. It's the clone conspiracy and truth and consequences is what this is about. So yeah. And yeah, then oh wow. So yeah, episode 11 actually premieres the same night as the Mandalorian, or the same day as the Mandalorian. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Morg says if Luke shows up again in the Mandalorian, for sure it will be lost. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think Luke's gonna come back in again. Because we're dealing with Mandalore now at this point. Luke's got his own stuff that's happening, and you know, Mandalore is going to be the big thing because, of course, the dark saber. They just released the poster, um, and yeah, the he's got the dark saber, of course. You want this thing that's right behind me? I don't think so, Marks. That's mine. So that's the dark saber, by the way. The blade is right over here. That's where the blade is. It's just sitting there. Penn says Grogu made his choice. No more Luke. Exactly. Yeah, he either had to go one way or the other. He had to either become a Jedi or he had to become a Mandalorian. One of the two. That was the whole choice. Ahsoka made it clear. So yeah, good episode. This was a lot of fun, and also just move things along, and also kind of held up some bigger issues of Star Wars to light, if you will. So I like this episode. They did a good job on this one. Um, looking forward, of course, to next week's doubleheader, and we'll see what happens with that. And well, I'm sorry, my brain was kind of going in a couple places at the same time. Mark says, "Good to know some younglings survived." Yeah, some younglings were out there. Remember, they were out in the field with their masters when all this stuff happened. So um, there are more than a few younglings that have survived. In the comics, actually, if I remember correctly, there's a plan of the Emperor and Darth Vader taking younglings. So they were actually abducting younglings and turning them into Inquisitors. One, and then also experimenting on some of them as well. So that is, if you take a look at I believe it's Dark Horse Comics, and then also Marvel Comics has done this. So there's stuff out there, if you want to expand your horizons on Star Wars, there's stuff out there. All right. What else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Well, tomorrow is going to be that episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's going to be, excuse me, the Hulu series Extraordinary. That's what it's going to be. I was supposed to do that yesterday, but I was just really bone tired yesterday. So that's why it's moved over to Thursday. Friday is going to be The Legend of Vox Machina, episodes 7 through 9. Saturday, I'm most likely going to have to do a Saturday morning blast off because of all the fucking news that's come out, especially just from DC alone. I know you guys want to talk about it. So I think that's what we're going to do is I'm probably going to do it actually on Saturday this time around. Yes, that's right. Saturday. Sunday, I'll be off, of course. Monday will be The Last of Us. Tuesday will be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? At least that's planned at that point. And that is going to be the Netflix series Lockwood and Company. That's right, Lockwood and Company. I'll be dealing with that on next Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we roll back around again to The Bad Batch, 2 episodes. So Penn says, I finished season 2 of The Hunters. Will there be, is it worth my time on it? I can do one. Penn. I mean, I did the first one. So, I mean, and the second one was the final season of it. So, I can always go for that. Or we can talk about it tomorrow too. I mean, not tomorrow, Saturday. Either way. So you're starting Vox Machina, you're in for a treat, Marks. Animation's really good, the story's good, and it's just funny as fuck. It really is. So, alrighty. So, with that said, I'm gonna let you guys go for the rest of the night. Thank you, everyone who joined me tonight in the chat. And by the way, hi Cheryl. I did see you. I just forgot to say hi as it was scrolling past. So sorry about that. Thank you, everyone who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, you know who you are out there. Works. Take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule. I change it out every week. Yes, that's right. And it has all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. More because if I can just bottle those tears. With that said, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thanks, everyone. Have a good rest of your night, and don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may be taken as a child, very, very young child, by the Jedi because those sick bastards just like children. Um, there's a whole documentary about that too. I think it's like To Catch a Predator or something like that. To Catch a Jedi Predator. Anyway, I will see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get the boosters as well. It doesn't work without the boosters. And stay safe out there, everyone. Thanks. Have a good rest of your night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. Good night, everyone.